here with my amazing wife. We're trying to unpixelate her. Let's see. Today we're talking about choosing to be a lifelong student, an eternal student, and specifically how humility is required if you're going to continue to learn and continue to grow. I posted some really, really good posts, if I do say so myself. There are a few quotes that stood out today for me. One of them was, if you're really, really good, you have freedom to be exactly who you are. If you want to increase your freedom, increase your skill set. And the thought process around that was the concept, if wow, there you go. But the thought was really simple. If you want to increase your freedom in life, increase your skill set. Because, and a friend of mine said this, he goes, when you're the best in the world at whatever you do, you call the shots. You decide when, where, and how it's going to happen. You decide what time you're going to be there. You decide how the details are going to go. And he said, but they don't make exceptions like that for people who are average or pretty good or trying hard. They make exceptions like that for people who are considered the best on earth at what they do. And so the requirements to become the best on earth that I've noticed are people who are constantly learning, constantly striving to be better. And even and especially the people who are already considered the best on earth at what they do. They're already considered the best. Like they're the GOAT. They're the
Yeah.
greatest of all time at whatever they do. And they're hungry to learn more. And they have the humbleness to show up and be a student over and over and over and over again. And anyone on the outside would easily sit there and say, why would they be taking a class? I had someone ask me this the other day. I'm an eternal student. I had someone, two things happened that made me smile. One, I had to do, I think, three or four complimentary coaching sessions to record with a non-client to get a recording that I could send to get approved on a class I'm taking. And one person was really sweet. She goes, wow, you were so good in that session. When you get certified, I'd love to be your first client. And it made me smile so big. I humbly wrote back, I've been doing this for 20 years. And she goes, that makes way more sense. I thought you were really good for a beginner. But then the second one popped up. The second one, about 5 minutes before the call, I started getting emails and messages. And it said, is this really going to be with Jarek? Is this like, or is it with some student that is taking his class? Like, I want to be clear. I'm actually going to be talking with you, right? And I was like, no, I'm the student taking a class. And yes, you'll be working with me because I need to record the session to send it to get it approved for the class. And he's like, huh, that's interesting. Why are you taking a class? You've been doing this forever. You're really, really good at it. You're one of the best in the field. Like, why are you taking a class? That seems weird. And I immediately heard the psychology. Seems weird? No way. It's the commitment to being a lifelong student. This is so, so, so important. I'd love to pass it to my wife for her thoughts on this real quick.
I love learning and growing. I'm addicted to it in a way. Like I've just such a thirst for knowledge and expansion and growth of what's possible for each and every one of us. I feel like when I meet someone, I can see the potential in them, even if they can't see it. And it's something I don't take lightly. So I'm grateful that it's something that we both value in our relationship, and we're committed to not only constant, never ending improvement, but constant, never ending learning and growth. Um, so yeah, I've never found it funny that someone would continue to take a class, or I find myself most inspired by like the 80-year-old woman who went back to school to finish her degree, and she's sitting there
Yeah.
amongst like 18 to young 20-year-olds, right? I think
Yep.
that's so cool. And so the question there is, what is it that you would love to learn, to dive into? And you removed any fears that come up or beliefs that come up. Like, what are the fears that you have holding you back, or the beliefs that are saying, like, well, that's weird, or I couldn't do that, or it's too late now? Like, what is that for you that's stopping you, right? Right now, I'm super excited to like lean into what does possibly a PhD look like for me? Like, what would I do? You know what I mean? And it's so cool. And at this point, I'm like, I have had that thought come up, of course, of like, well, now, like, don't you think I should have done that? It's like, who cares? Like, again, I love to look for those people as reference points that I find inspiring, because they persevered through the beliefs, whether it was their own or culture or society's projected on them of, you're too old or it's late, or but you've already learned so much. And here's one thing I've also learned from our mentor that was so beautiful. He's been doing the work that he does, like in business, growing business. He's such a great human, wicked smart, great values, good heart, just a good man. And he is still reading every new business book that comes out. And some of them aren't that great, but he still picks it up and he skims through it. And he says, and what I love about it is that he doesn't have any ego in the game. There's no ego in the game. It's not like I've already read and seen it all. He still picks it up and he still glosses through it. And then either he's like, oh, thanks for the reminder of what I've known and practiced my whole career, and or, oh, that's a new way to think about it. And one thing I actually love, if you want to speak to it, if it's relevant, is I remember one of your first coaching clients was like much older than you, right? You want to talk about that and how cool that was? Because again, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I'll throw something out there just as a thought though to set the frame right for people. If you want to know when a relationship ends, it's when you stop learning about the other person. Like if you think about that, your relationship with another human ends the moment you stop learning about them. The moment your brain says, I know that about them. I know everything about them. I know what they do. I know who they are. I know what they think. I know what they're going to do before they do it. Like the moment you stop learning about that other person, and in a few months, we're going to be married for 10 years. We've been together for over 12. And I learn new things about you every single day. I'm wildly curious about you as a human being, like new thoughts, new perceptions, new insights, new ways of looking at the same thing. Something that we would have, had the same perception on 5 years ago at this stage of our life is totally different. We share an opinion and you're like, wow, that's not what we thought it was 5 years ago. Where'd that come
Yeah.
from? How did you come up with that idea? Where? And you're like, no, after becoming a mom, that's what I see now. Or after
Mhm.
this moment of my life, that's now what I see. It's different now. It's changed. And it's like, wow. And so not only did we have the chance to learn about each other for this decade, but we have a chance to relearn about each other constantly. And so
Mhm.
what keeps a relationship alive is the hunger and curiosity to continually learn about the new version of this human that you're spending your life with.
Yeah.
What keeps a business alive is the curiosity about your clients.
Mhm.
Who are they? What are they going through? How do they feel? What challenges are going on in their life? What are they interested in? What are their opportunities opening up? How do you help them prepare for what's next for them? If you're not deeply, deeply curious about the people you're doing business with, someone else will be more curious and they will leave to go work with them. And it's like, wow, the relationship with your spouse, the relationship with your clients. What about your health? I mean, imagine what was considered healthy 25 years ago, 50 years ago. If you weren't willing to learn about new research, new insights, new materials on what's considered healthy and what's not, you'd still be doing stuff from a long time ago that we're now well aware is not a good idea. And so it's this concept we got to wrap up here, but it's this concept I want to float for you. Any area of life, growth, that hunger, that humility to learn, and just a few quotes to wrap up on. Number one, if you're the best in the world at what you do, you experience freedom. If you want more freedom, increase your skill set. Number two, the opportunity you're looking for is on the other side of hundreds, if not thousands, of dead ends. You have to keep learning new approaches, new ways, new roads, new paths, new to get to the opportunities you really want. Number three, to learn requires a sense of humility. You have to be willing to be humble and become a brand new at it again and again and again. And no matter how many times you feel like, I know all this, go learn it again, because the old you knew it, and who you are now, you'll see it in a whole new light. The final, when it comes to learning, please leave a trail of light behind you. It may be your light that helps those who feel lost in the darkness to see the path. Leave a trail of light behind you as you're going after it, as you're striving, as you're moving forward and going after what you really want. Leave that trail of light behind you that allows others to figure out how to navigate their path. Few things. If you are interested in learning about high performance, peak performance, if you're interested in learning about how to become a coach, please go to performancecoachuniversity.com/apply. Check out our material. We'd love to have you join us in this next cohort of coaches that are starting this upcoming Monday. If you're interested in becoming a coach, you want me to send you the information, just send me a direct message on any of these platforms that says, I want to be a coach, and I'll send you all the details. For those of you who are hungry to learn cutting edge tools on performance, psychology, coaching, we'd love to share it with you. Okay. Have a great day, everyone.